last night I was having dinner with two very dear friends of mine, who I've only known for a few days, but they're very dear friends of mine now, about very deep and philosophical concepts of religion and identity and meaning in life, as you would in the city of Rome. What else would you talk about? And something came up in conversation that was really interesting. That is a concept that I've learned in my training, but I've realized a lot beyond knowledge and beyond understanding theoretically over the past few months, especially in my journey through Europe and in other parts of the world. And that is that people generally have two motivations in life. They will either be moving towards something or away from something. And this conversation came out of this discussion and exploration of this idea that we were having with one of my friends, who has this innate sense of restlessness and unsettling in what they claim to be a quest for a sense of tranquility, a sense of meaning, a sense of maybe a greater purpose, or maybe just a peace that they do not necessarily find where they are at. And it made me realize that even with a lot of my clients and my students, and also with myself as well, in the past especially, but as recently as even a few weeks ago, I realized that there's often this concept of having this really elusive sense of where you want to go, this elusive home, this elusive place of belonging, or this elusive state of being that is neither here nor there, but it's something that you say that you want, and somehow magically it will give you more peace. It's very difficult to actually explain why, but you believe it. You might not even be a person of faith, you might not be a person of religion, you might not be a person of any divine belief, but nonetheless, this might be an area in your life where you do have that kind of almost illogical, irrational belief. And what I've realized is that it is usually with these people, including myself, who find it most difficult to actually be clear about what they want. And if you ask them a very simple question, that if we were to wave the magic wand and you could have anything you wanted, what would you want? They're usually the ones who get the most stuck, the most paused in that moment. And if they have somewhat a greater sense of self-honesty, they might say, I don't know what I want. And then they might say, well, what I want is to find out what I really want in life. And I know I was in that position until really recently. It's something that I'm constantly working on with a couple different coaches and mentors of mine. Now, why am I telling you this? I realize that many of these people, who, including myself, who say that they want something, inherently have element of denial about something that they want to get away from. Perhaps because it's easier to accept and acknowledge and state that there is something beautiful that you want to go towards, and not so easy to admit and acknowledge that there is something that you want to get the hell away from. Because to admit that, I believe it has a greater sense of responsibility with it. But if you know, or at least unconsciously, subconsciously, you know that what you want is beyond clarity and beyond description, then you can always evade responsibility. I know this is calling out a lot of people, and I know this might be a little confrontational for you, because if it resonates as true, then it can really bring up some unconscious defenses. Sorry about that. That was like a bee just floating around here, a little too close for comfort for me. I wanted to get the hell away from that bee, but it's gone. It's okay. So, so why is this useful? What's the purpose of knowing this? I believe, in my experience, in my understanding, in my study of the psychology and human behavior over the past 10 years, and my experience working with people from all over the world, from different cultures and different religions and different belief systems, or at least the belief systems that they were indoctrinated with when they were growing up, is that regardless of where you're from, if you have an element of denial about wanting to get away from something, you will never quite have that sense of clarity about what you want to get towards, what you actually want in life. And if you can accept and acknowledge and take the time to really think that maybe there is something that you want to evade, you want to escape from, something you want to be free from, something that is in your current situation that you want to be in your past, and you want to move towards something, but first you want to get away from something, then not only will you become more resourceful in figuring out ways to actually deal with that, which previously you were not dealing with at all, but you will also become more resourceful in finding clarity and creating clarity for what you want on the other side of it. Because quite often what stops us from getting what we want is not being clear about what we value more, about to do with safety, what we value more to do with the comfort of the situation that we're in, which might make us unhappy or might make us suffer, but we don't want to change it, we don't want to deal with it because that is too confrontational. So we end up in this state of constant flux and unsettling and restlessness because neither do we deal with our past, nor do we do what is necessary to get super clear on what it is that we actually want, and therefore, how do we get it?